Hello and welcome to StratoCast, a BattleTech podcast to get people into playing BattleTech. My name is Stuart StratoCast Level 3 and I help run the BattleTech UK Southeast events. So we're going to look today at a piece of software I covered in podcast 1 of how to install it called MegaMekLab, and we're going to use this over a series of episodes to construct BattleMechs. So MegaMekLab, few things to say about it. The team at MegaMech are a non-for-profit charity. They basically design and write all of the code for this, but it is, well, not, I wouldn't say officially a Catalyst product. It has the Catalyst backing in the fact that Catalyst actually use this product themselves when they design new mechs and put them into their TROs. So it is a very, very well used piece of software and very easy to use. We're going to start really basically. We're just going to create a introductory technology mech. Now, what I'm not going to do is explain all of the rules about how to construct BattleMechs. There are two sources for the construction rules. One is, and the gold standard one is the tech manual, which you can get as a PDF for about $15 from the Catalyst website, but there's also a hardback version. There is also rules in the Clan Invasion box set, which enable you to also create mechs as well. But those are the two main products, and so I might reference things in there because MegaMekLab, while it contains all the information you need to create the mechs, it doesn't contain any of the rules obviously for copyright reasons. They don't want to be accused of copyright infringement by printing large amounts of material. But all of these stats for equipment are in there, just not all of the kind of lore and descriptions, which you can find in the tech manual, which is a great product to buy. So this is the splash screen to start off with. And I'm running 0.49.12, which is one off the last build, but it's perfectly working fine, and it's been updated with all of the latest units. We're just going to do mechs in this. Later we might look at other things you can design, everything from mechs to dropships to infantry in this to jump ships, but we're going to just go for new mech. So once you click on the new mech screen, you get a nice blank mech here. And we're going to start with the obvious things about saying, what is this mech going to be called? So I've decided I'm going to call it the Springbok. Okay, a rugby reference. And we're going to give it a code name. Now, usually, of course, the code names could be anything you want. We're going to call this the SPR3. And we're going to call it the SPR3. Let's call it the SPR3R. So doesn't really matter what the codes, where the codes, a lot of the codes come from. They're not always the same. As usually they have 3 or 4 initials and then a code. We're going to say this is the third in the series because this is going to be an introductory technology mech, a mech that basically is around in the Succession Wars 3025 era. So first thing we need to do is, we've got a name for it. Don't have to put the name in first, of course. We're going to choose our tech base, okay, and our year. So the year when you put in is going to limit what equipment is available. We're going to say this was built in 3025. And it's a new mech that's been built in 3025, this particular variant. And it's been going to use inner sphere technology. Now you've got 4 levels of technology here. Since we're only doing introductory tech in this one, we're going to limit to inner sphere, but there's inner sphere and there's clan. Then there's inner sphere mechs that basically have been updated with clan technology called mixed inner sphere. And then there's clan mechs, which have been, I'm not sure updated is the right word, but have been given inner sphere technology, which is called mixed clan. We'll cover those in later things, but we're going to just do inner sphere. Tech level, now we're going to choose introductory, which is basically anything from BattleTech, a game of armored combat. The box set, so basically you don't need any additional rules. Standard rule set, you need either Total Warfare or the BattleMech manual to include rules for that. So we're just going to make this very basic introductory. Manual BV, don't worry about that. We're not going to talk about how BV is calculated. We're going to let the 1.4 program do its magic and it will calculate all of the BV for us, which is great. Now, First thing to do is decide what tonnage. So we've done the basic in the name, the base, and we're going to choose what tonnage is going to be. So it's a good idea to start with the tonnage. I'm going to choose maybe an unused tonnage, one that's not used much, right at the bottom of the medium weight class. So lights are anywhere between 20 and 35, and then mediums are 40 to 55, heavies are 60 to 75, and then assaults are 80 plus to 100. So we're going to choose 40. It's not a very popular size. And base type, okay, base type here, don't need to worry about this. Standard is just a normal BattleMech. We'll look at quad mechs later, but this is going to be a standard BattleMech, and it's bipedal because there are quads. There are even tripods as well, but we're going to just do a standard two-legged bipedal mech. For structure, we've only got one option, which is standard structure. Later on, of course, there'll be other options. And engine, there's only one option at the moment because we're just choosing fusion. Actually, it probably gives you other options, doesn't it? No, just one option, fusion. Okay, because we're using introductory technology. And the gyro, again, is only one option for a standard gyro. And a cockpit, only one option for the standard cockpit. This is why we call it the introductory rules, because there's nothing else we need to add. So now we've done that, we need to really think about the engine. So engines go anywhere from 100 to like 400 rating, and the way you determine the engine size is you multiply the tonnage, 40, by your walking movement points. So it's really a case of thinking how much do I want my mech to walk, and then seeing what the tonnage is going to be. To keep track of your tonnage, the tonnage is down here. So at the moment we've used 9 out of the 40 tons, we've got 31 remaining. So I'm going to set this. I want a very fast jumping mech. So I'm going to set my base movement as 6, which calculates run, because run's always 1.5 times base. So it's going to be a 6-9 mech. So that tells me straight away that the engine size is going to be 6 times 40, okay, which is going to be a 240 engine. And then the software will work out how much that weighs. So we're up to 21.5 tons now because the tonnage has gone up. And it says here engine 11.5 tons. The engine always takes 6 criticals. So, and the internal structure, that's another thing to say. Internal structure is 1/10 the mass of the mech. So 40 tons, 4 tons of internal structure when using standard internal structure. Gyro is always 3 tons. Cockpit is always 3 tons. Okay, in standard rules, or introductory rules, I should say. Next we're going to do is actually not look at the armor. I'll leave the armor till last. You could put the armor first. We're going to have a look at its weapons loadout. So we've got basically 18.5 remaining, and we're going to look at the equipment and weapons. So here we've got a complete list of all of the equipment, but it doesn't include jump jets. To do jump jets, and I do want to get this to jump first, you just go to here and increase the number of jump jets. Now you don't have to put the maximum number of jump jets, like the Shadowhawk is 583, but we're going to go up to 6. So we've got 6 jump jets. We can't go higher than 6 with standard jump jets. UMU, by the way, is an underwater movement jets, which we're not going to look at, but they function in the same way as jump jets, but for underwater movement. And we can't select anything other than jump jets, other than basic jump jets, because we're doing introductory rules. So we've got a 696 now. We've got 6 jump jets, and each jump jet is going to have a mass of 0.5. One thing I always found strange in BattleTech is, as opposed to the HBS game, in the HBS game, your jump jets are heavier for each jump jet if you're doing an assault mech. In standard BattleTech, jump jets are always 0.5, and you need 1 jump jet per point of movement. So now we're going to assign the equipment. So we've got now, to keep a running track, we've got 15.5 tons remaining. And we've set up our movement. We've got our base, we've got our jump of 6, and we've got our run of 9. So we've got quite a fast moving mech. So we're going to choose it not to be too heavily armed. We're going to go for a variety of things. We're going to use these different menus here, and I can click off these so that I only have energy. And I can also hold down shift and select multiple of these tabs. So if I hold down shift and click, well, it's not shift, it's control. and hold down multiple tabs, I can get multiple different things. So I'm just going to start with energy, and we're going to give this 2 medium lasers. Now at this point we're not deciding where they are, we're just putting them onto the list. And each medium laser, 1 ton, criticals 1, heat 3. Gives you the stats here for the weapons, so it tells you how much damage, minimum range, normal range, number of shots per ton, BV, which we won't worry about now, and the weight, and the reference where you can find it in the TM's tech manual. Doesn't need any ammo, so we're going to do another weapon system here. We're going to add in a ballistic weapon system, or a missile weapon system, sorry, and we're going to add in an SRM. I think a 6 might be too heavy. 3 tons. No, actually, I think an SRM 6 would be good. We're going to add in an SRM 6, and we need some ammo for that. So the good thing about ammo is when you click on the ammo, it will only list ammos here. So if you're wondering when you click on ammo why there's no ammo showing, it'll only list ammos here which you've got weapons for. So I'm going to click on add and add 1 ton of ammo. And 1 ton of ammo can actually tell me, if I go to the SRM6 here, go back to missile and SRM6, it tells me that 1 ton of ammo, actually it's in here, ammo is 15 shots. There you go, 1 ton of ammo is 15 shots. So that's going to be enough for what I want. And then finally, I've got 9.5 tons remaining. I'm going to decide, well, we're going to have kind of a jumping, skirmishing sort of mech here, which is going to get in there quick, get out quick, but it might encounter some infantry. A lot of people don't really have much time for machine guns, but in my opinion, there's nothing better for gunning down infantry than machine guns. And if you're playing in a combined ops game, having machine guns is great. So I'm going to add a machine gun. We're going to add 1 machine gun. Machine gun has got a particular rule that you can add half tons of ammo. So you don't have to add the full tonnage of ammo of 1 ton. You can add half ton of ammo. So we're going to do that. I think it's the only unit which you're allowed to do half tons of ammo. One of the reasons why machine guns have got such a bad rep is because they carry so much ammo, and if you get hit, for instance, in an ammo bin with 200 shots, that's 400 damage to your mech, and your mech has just been destroyed by its own machine gun ammo. But that's the fun of playing Introtech and ammunition explosions. So we've got our equipment. We've got 2 medium lasers, an SRM6, some ammo for the SRM6, a machine gun, and a half ton of machine gun ammo. I've got 8.5 tons remaining. Do I want anything else? I'm going to say no, and I'm going to go over to back to the structure and armor, and I'm going to maximize armor, which basically, or you can just go up in 5 ton increments. Now with standard armor, it's 8 points of armor per half ton. Okay, so I'm going to maximize that. I'll get to 9 tons. Oh, for some reason it's done too many. Let's go back down by 1. There we go. We've got 8.5 tons of armor, which is, I think, pretty respectable. And we're going to distribute that. Now we can allocate it automatically. And if I do that, it'll nice evenly distribute it with the majority in the central torso, some on the right arm, some on the left arm, left leg, right leg, head of 9. You may now at this point decide to, move this around. You don't have to have armor equally. You can have, sometimes there are mechs that have more armor on one side than the other. There's not a rule that says the central torso needs more, but there is a rule with the maximum amount of armor on a location. So if I go up here, 24, and it's actually on a table, 24 for a medium mech of 40 tons. So there is a limit there. And also rear armor. Oh wait, one thing we've got a mistake here for some reason. It hasn't added any rear armor on the central torso for some reason. Don't know why. Oh, it's because I went up. That's why. So if I did auto allocate, it does add that automatically. So I'm quite happy with the armor there. I could move it around. Now, there's one last thing to do, because I can tell there's one more thing to do because it's saying invalid at the moment, is I want to assign where my equipment is. So I'm going to make the choice here to put first of all, we're going to put the medium lasers in the arms. It's always nice to have medium lasers in the arms because it allows you to torso twist and then turn and put one medium laser in one direction. So we're going to have the medium lasers in the arms. It's quite good that way we can basically turn around. We could have two on one arm, for instance, and that way we could torso twist and put both on one arm. So there's lots of different design considerations about where you put your weapons. Of course, if you lose one arm, you lose all the medium lasers. So that could be a tricky thing. We're going to go for the SRM-6 in the left torso here. And we're going to put the ammo in the same torso here. And we're going to go for the machine gun. And let's have the machine gun in the right torso and the ammunition in the right torso. Now, a little bit of metagaming. Some people don't like putting things like, I think the Marauder's got this reputation because in the right torso all it has is the ammo, and if you take a critical it's going to hit the ammo, and then that's going to be a dead mech in introductory technology. But from a fluff point of view, I've decided to put it here. And finally, we've got the jump jets. Now the jump jets you need to distribute around left torso, right torso, left leg, right leg. I'm going to distribute them evenly with 2 in each. So 2 in the left torso, 2 in the right torso, and they need to be equally distributed. Okay, so we've got 2 on each location. You can also put them in the legs. There's a whole debate about whether to put jump jets in the torsos or the legs. If you put them in the legs, you can't use them if you are jumping out of water, because if your legs are submerged, those jump jets don't count. So only the jump jets that are above the surface of the water would count. So some people would say, why would you ever put jump jets into the legs? Why would you not just put them into the torsos? Again, lots of different considerations there. Now you might notice we've got a heatsink left over. Now this is because every mech gets 10 heatsinks. Okay, so we get 10 heatsinks for free, which are on the engine. Okay, those 10 heatsinks don't cost you any tonnage. If you want more heatsinks, it's going to cost you tonnage. Now, for space-wise, you get 1 heatsink free for space for every 25 tons of the engine. So we've got a 240 rated engine. So a 240 rated engine, rounded down to the lowest 225, to the lowest multiple 225 is of 25. Sorry, is 225, which is 9 free heatsinks. Okay, so there are 9 heatsinks on the engine, and then there's 1 more heatsink that needs to be placed somewhere. And so we're going to place that heatsink into the right torso. If you've got a very big engine, then all of the heatsinks will be in the engine. You can also change the type of heatsinks, but we're doing introductory tech, so we've just got access to single heatsinks. If I wanted more heatsinks, for instance, I might decide, for instance, to drop the armor by a ton and add another heatsink. But I don't think I need to. But let's show you that anyway. So at the moment, my heat load, I can see I've got like 3 heat. If I fully alpha strike, I've got 3, 3, and 4. So that's 10. But I also jump, so I could get 6 heat from the jump. So let's decide that we are going to include another 2 heatsinks, because we want to jump in, jump out, and alpha strike. So we're going to have 2 more heatsinks, and now I need to drop the armor tonnage by 2. And then if I go back to auto allocate, it reworks out the armor. Actually, I've got to go down by another one. It's tonnage 41, so I've got to go down to 6.5 tons of armor. There you go. So now we've created our mech. I'm just gonna move around the armor a bit. There we go. So auto allocate doesn't always come up with the best way you want. There might be too many heat sinks. You might not need them, but I just thought I'd show it. And we can go back to equipment and assign critical, and put the other 2 heat sinks. So let's put the heat sinks into one into each torso. So there we have it, our Springbok SPR 3R Introductory Tech 3025 mech that's 696 with 12 heat sinks. And now I've done that, I can ready to basically print the unit, and it's ready to go. When I save these, if I go to save, it will save it into a custom folder, and it's best to create a folder called customs. So I'm going to put a custom folder there, and it will save that as a special type of file called an MTF. Okay, and that's just used for the program. So, but then I can go and I can export it, and let's just export it to PDF, current unit, and I'll just save that here. And now there's my mech that I've designed. All of the allocation, all of the weapons, everything there. So that's how you design a basic mech. So all you've got to do is, say, step one, chassis. So is it, sorry, tech level, is it in a sphere? Well, yes, because you haven't got any other options at the moment. Step two, tonnage. Okay, so choose what tonnage you're going to do. You can go back and alter the tonnage, but it's a bit awkward. So choose your tonnage, and then I would say step three would be to allocate your movement points and decide on your jump. And then I'd go for step four, being to choose your equipment, making sure you select the ammo you want, and then finally to allocate the armor and extra heat sinks and assign those to critical slots. You've also got a thing here where you can actually type in all of the kind of fluff information if you want. You don't have to do this, and that creates its own TRO, and you can go to File, Export to HTML, current unit, and it'll actually export the TRO kind of page for that. And you can preview the TRO, how it appears here. Of course, there's no extra text there because we haven't written anything. And it'll even turn it into Alpha Strike for you, which I know some people find great for that, and work out its PV as well. One last thing for equipment wise, there's actually a second type of table. If I go to the energy weapons, for instance, there's a second table here, and you can use that to find out a lot more information about the technology. You've got is it clan or inner sphere or all? So what is it, technology base? What level? Is it introductory? Is it standard? Is it experimental? Is it advanced? Its rating. I won't go through all of these ratings, but basically the letters denote how common it is, from A being easiest to F being most rare. You've also got the cost in C-bills, and you've also got the prototype, production, main production, common, extinction, and reintroduction. So obviously with Starlake weapons, they'll disappear and then reappear later on. Down the bottom it tells us our cost with no ammo. That's why it says dry cost of 3,548,160 C-bills. Tells me how many criticals I've used. In basic Introtech, you don't use all your critical spaces, but you do tend to start using all critical spaces when you're doing a higher tech level. And importantly, it works out the BV. And if you are interested in working out why the BV is, I'm not going to explain it now, you can go to the BV breakdown for the current unit, and it will provide this lovely little report here, which gives you its rationale as to why it's that BV. And again, I won't go into the exact rules for that. That's best something you go and read yourself in the tech manual, which includes all of the details. Other than to say, you do basically get a discount from BV if you have weapons that are going to go over your heat, and that way. And also you get some discount for carrying more ammo because it makes you more vulnerable. So that's our basic introduction to how to make a mech using MegaMekLab. We have created the Springbok SPR3R, and we've shown how to export it. And next time we're going to have a look at how to make the SPR4R, which is going to be our clan tech reintroduction technology era, where we're going to add some new technology and update the design to the 3050s.